Clemson is back. Or Clemson is back? Welcome to the Voice of College Football and our first edition of our 2022 college football previews. Please like the video, share the videos out on social media. If you enjoy the content, guess what? Others might as well. Please subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football and check out our Clemson Tigers channel. 10-3 and 21. That's a disappointment. That is not the Dabo Swinney standard at Clemson. College football playoff appearances going back to 2014, ACC championships. Again, that streak broken as well going back to 2014. Who's to blame? Well, most people would put it on one guy, the guy with the funny last name, DJ Uiagalelei. 9 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. That's awful. In today's football, that's atrocious. Look at his quarterbacking counterparts in the ACC, the best quarterback league in the country in the 2021 season. Devin Leary, Tyler Van Dyke, Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett, throwing 30, 35, 40 touchdowns. And all the other quarterbacks playing much better than DJ, at least posting better statistics. Yeah, he was bad. And I didn't see it coming because he filled in for Trevor Lawrence in 2020, played 2 ball games against Boston College and against Notre Dame, and brought the team back from 28-6 down in his first start against Boston College to win that game, then went on the road against Notre Dame, put up 40 points and 439 passing yards, the most ever given up by the Irish. So consider 2 games, he throws for 342 and 439. The next season, he's the starter for 13 games and never threw more than for 241 games, 41 yards in a game, and that came against UConn. A game in which he completed 47% of his passes. He was just bad. He did not complete 50% of his throws in 5 games. Was it all his fault? Yeah, he was bad. He was bad. But the offensive line was pretty bad too. We'll get to the offensive line in just a second, but more so the wide receiver play. This is a wide receiver program that has been arguably the best in college football during this playoff run. Going back to 2012, let's say. Sammy Watkins, Mike Williams, of course, Hunter Renfrow, and Adam Humphries in the slot. Just remarkable receivers for this Clemson Tiger team. Outfighting defenders for the football, high-pointing the football, running great routes, just no drops. Remarkable play. Again, arguably the best in college football. In 2021, this wide receiver core was unrecognizable. It was not good. It was not even average. Dropping passes, not fighting defenders for the football, high-pointing the football, plucking the football out of the air. Did not happen. Your wide receivers this season will be Bo Collins and Joseph Nagata, prove to be the starters most likely. Collins caught 31 balls last year. Justin Ross, the stud, gone to the NFL. You also have E.J. Williams. A lot of people expecting E.J. Williams to play a role this season. Despite having knee surgery in March, E.J. Williams should be fine for August camp and on into the season. Clemson has not used the tight end in recent years and may actually do that because of the lack of stellar play at the wide receiver position and reliable play at the wide receiver position, known commodities, and also because Davis Allen is extremely talented. So the wide receivers have to play better too. And the offensive line. The offensive line has been the one glaring, not weakness, but less than elite unit during this championship run of 10 years. The offensive line, especially early, was awful. Watch the Georgia Tech game. Against a really bad team, they could not move the ball. 14 points in that game. 4 starters are back. Most notably, Will Putnam moving from right guard to center. Expected improvement there. He gained rave reviews in the spring. He had a poor season last year. Left tackle Jordan Mcfadden is a rising star. Has turned out to be much better than expected. Marcus Tate, freshman last year, should be much better. He was bad early, came on late. And back to Mcfadden, according to Pro Football Focus, he's the #1 rated returning offensive tackle in the ACC, grading out at 87.4. Offensive line coach, he's a new one. Thomas Austin taking over the offensive line, and Dabo Swinney looking for a spark looking for some teaching to take hold and connect with these players to improve the offensive line. The one position on the offense in 21 that performed capably was the running back position, despite losing the best running back possibly in the history of the conference, Travis Etienne. Will Shipley, just a freshman, just a babe last year, and he ran like a man. 5 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns. Check out his fourth quarter performance against Florida State with the game on the line. He carried the offense. Kobe Pace, certainly a serviceable back, really good player. And Phil Maffa, many people believe he's going to be the best of the bunch when he finally kicks it in. So that's the offense. The offense, deplorable. Scored 21 points or less in 7 games. This is 2022. Scoring 19 points against Boston College, 17 points against Syracuse, just not going to get it done. This team did not have an outstanding offensive performance the entire season. They scored 30 against Louisville. They broke out against, Wake Forest, the late season game against Wake Forest with 48 points. I'll give them that one game the entire season. It was bad. One other note on DJ Uiagalelei. He looks like a new man. He's trimmed down. The coaches didn't force him to do that. He decided, I need to get fit. I'm too heavy. Trimmed off 30 pounds. All right, that's the offense. For as bad as the offense was in 2021, the defense had to be that good to get this team to 10-3. Just look at the Iowa State win in the bowl game. How did they win that game? They won it because of the defense. Pick 6, strip, fumble, recovery to end the game. The defense won the game. That was the microcosm of the Clemson team in 21. 8th ranked defense in the country, probably even better than that. The defensive line was banged up. This 22 unit on the defensive front could challenge that Clemson 2018 unit that was vintage, one of the great lines in the history of college football. You got Miles Murphy and Xavier Thomas and KJ Henry on the outside. They're studs. The two guys on the inside, if Clemson can get a full season out of Tyler Davis, he's strong and stout. And then even more talented is Brian Bresee on the inside. The defensive front, amazing. Linebackers, of course, James Skalski finally is off the team. He moves on. Takes a ton of experience with him. But the linebacking unit, and specifically his replacements, should be more athletic. All right, Trent Thompson is one of the best athletes in the conference, one of the best athletes on the team. He could really break out. He's already a really good player. 12 tackles for loss and 6 sacks for Simpson. Barrett Carter, also at linebacker, plays in the dime defense in the secondary. Really good player as well. The secondary could be an issue on defense. Now, if the defensive line plays up to its potential and is a wrecking crew, it's not going to matter nearly as much, of course, because the time that you have to cover in the secondary dictated by the defensive line play. 3 starters lost in the secondary. You've got a sophomore cornerback in Nate Wiggins, who is an emerging star. He's the most talented of the bunch, really impressed in the spring. Cornerback Fred Davis is back. Probably the best safety would be R.J. Mickens, the junior. So that's how Clemson sizes up on offense and defense. Their field goal kicker is back for a 5th season, B.T. Potter, after making 21 of 26. Now on to the Clemson schedule against the ACC, and they're in the better half of the conference, of course. We'll have to check out their cross-division games, and of course, out of conference, they play South Carolina at the end. No Georgia this year to score 3 points against. No Georgia to open up against. Clemson will step out of conference later in the season against Notre Dame. At Georgia Tech on September 5th on a Monday night to open the season on ESPN. Furman is one of the out-of-conference games, followed by the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. Wake Forest, a huge game. May get 2 consecutive huge weeks for the Clemson Tigers at the conclusion of September. At Wake Forest, the team that, of course, wrestled away the division championship despite Clemson's head-to-head win in 21. And then the team that cost Clemson the division, North Carolina State, who won in Raleigh-Durham last year in overtime against Clemson, has to go to Death Valley. So that's going to be the division right there. Then on the road against Boston College and Florida State, the Seminoles took the Tigers to the wire in Death Valley. Syracuse even took Clemson to the wire. Everybody took Clemson to the wire last season. An off week before Notre Dame. That could be key. Clemson preparing to go to South Bend. Of course, they lost that game on the road in 2020 before avenging the loss with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback in the ACC championship game. Maybe DJ Uiagalelei will have good flashbacks to when he threw for 439 against the Irish in South Bend. Louisville, Miami, South Carolina to conclude the season. That Miami date in Death Valley could be an interesting one, and it could be a preview of the ACC championship game. So the two cross-division games, Georgia Tech, that's the set rival, and then it's Miami at home in Death Valley before South Carolina, an improving team under Shane Beamer, and a more capable quarterback that Clemson should be facing this time around in Spencer Rattler. Clemson will drop a game this season. Most likely that game's going to come at Notre Dame in November. Also, North Carolina State would be my next choice as a loss. And then, of course, Miami, and my fourth choice would be Wake Forest in that order. So call Clemson an 11-1 football team marching on to the ACC championship game as the Atlantic Division winners. All right, we have just begun our previews and predictions of the 2022 season right here at the Voice of College Football. Please like the video and share it out on social media and subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. See you next time.